my name is Abraham Great, and welcome again to this platform. Here you will learn tips that will help you to connect the dots. This dot has the proclivity to move you into action. It is working. Today I want to talk to you about ways to control your blood pressure. Many ways, breathing, and many other ways that we'll look today. As we all know, hypertension is high blood pressure. That's a higher than normal force of blood against the wall of the blood vessel, or the blood vessel wall. A reading of anything above at least 130 over 80 is usually considered as a danger, or something is wrong, or pre-hypertension or hypertension already, or high blood already. People are more likely to develop hypertension if they have family history of hypertension, or they are older, or they are African American or Asians or Hispanic Americans. Now, that is a true fact. I've had history of this with both my father and my mother, and because of this, I've been passionate about telling friends and family to take this thing for real. Sometimes we think we're so young, how could I have hypertension? And sometimes people feel a sense of guilt, or a problem, thinking, why me? Why would it be me that is going through hypertension, or that is hypertensive? Some people will think, oh, I'm too young for this. Some people will think, I'm too beautiful for this. Or some people will think, but I maintain my health. Sometimes you can't blame yourself for it. It's hereditary, and sometimes it's just diet. You see, it's not maybe there is a spell against people of the African background, or of the Hispanic background, of the Asian background, but largely these things are because of certain things like our dietary, and sometimes we may be the race of people that maybe pay attention less to exercise and some other factor. Hypertension in itself is the second leading underlying cause of death. Smoking is first around the world. Generally, it might not be in your region, but generally globally, smoking is the first thing that is the cause of death, and the next thing is hypertension, high blood pressure, cardiac arrest, heart attack, and things like that. But the lifestyle change can be amazingly effective to lower the blood pressure. In the hypertension, the study of hypertension have shown that gradual or drastic lifestyle or diet can actually change hypertension. I've witnessed that, and I've witnessed that with many people, that the average blood pressure among patients with hypertension decreases 6 months significantly, while the use of at home, or the blood pressure monitor. Now, this is the first thing I want to quickly tell you about that you have to pay attention to. The number one thing that you want to have, or ways to overcome blood pressure, is number one, watch and monitor your blood pressure. Surprisingly, most people ever discover they had high blood pressure when they went to a doctor. That's the first place, because most of us have this picture of doctors since the time that we were born. You see doctors add something around their ears, and they put it on their neck, and they're checking your blood, or they're checking your pulse and stuff like that. The first thing you want to do is to get for yourself. Now, some people say, for many reasons, particularly religious or faith belief, some people say, I don't want to concern myself with that. But then you have seen many people, both friends and family, have died of cardiac arrest because what can actually be monitored had been ignored. So the first step you want to take is to get a machine, get used to the machine, not in the worry of checking the high blood pressure. The other thing is this: because your high blood pressure is high, does not mean you're going to die the day you looked at it, and then suddenly it means that, oh, you're dying. No, it is when it is been ignored for such a long time, over time. The other thing that you should know, even though I'm saying that you should get a blood pressure monitor, you must understand that sometimes the monitoring or the reading may be inaccurate. And what I mean by that is this: sometimes I'm not a doctor, and I've got to say this clearly, but from experience of losing my father, to cardiac arrest at a very young age of 56, my father died, and also having my mother, who also have a history of high blood pressure, and I've had to check myself. I've had to keep myself also in check. And some of the things that I'm sharing with you now has been benefit, and my mother is now living up till a old age because we're able to, maybe not me especially, my sister, my younger sister, who is in the health sector, she's closer to my mom. She's always checking, she's always monitoring, she's always keeping an eye on her. My mom herself, she's always keeping an eye, and the same thing with me. I'm always keeping an eye. I'm always doing the necessary precautions that I need to take. And some of the things that I'm sharing with you, we can also interrupt the acute response of stress in our life. So number one is get a blood pressure. Number two is to reduce the entry point of stress in your life. You can do everything possible that you can to manage stress in your life. Sometimes stress in itself is caused by the fact that we think we are stressed. So overthinking things, and there are very little things sometimes that overwhelms your heart. And I'll mention a few of them under this particular point. Some of them is having unresolved issues. Sometimes when you have unresolved issues, you have offenses against people. Sometimes you have issues that you're hiding, you really do not want anybody to know. And if they are not good stuff, if they are events in your life that you needed to have restituted for or overcome, they have a way of piling up on your health. And in order for you to overcome stress, some of the common thing that you do is, take life easy. Laugh a lot, laughter, exercise, and a good night's sleep. Now, this in itself becomes my number 3 point. My number 3 point is always ensure that you have a good night's sleep. Now, this point, the fact that you're sleeping long does not mean that you have a good night's sleep. Stress comes from blood vessels, and there is a coordination between your blood, the blood flow, and your nerves, your mind, your brain. So you got to understand that sometimes you are sleeping, but your mind has actually not shut down. It's not that you are worrying, but I can't explain because I'm not a doctor, but some of my findings and some of the advice that I've received have meant that you got to be careful that you sleep. Now, if you cannot or you are not sure that you're sleeping well, here are some of the indications. Check your blood pressure in the mornings and always see what they are. Or if you wake up in the middle of the night, check your blood pressure. And sometimes you may see, even though you are sleeping, you're meant to be restful, but you are not. Now, there are medication that you can, depending on the country that you live in, that you can ask professional doctors or pharmacists to prescribe to you. There are some natural herbs or capsules, natural capsules that can actually help you to go into good sleep. So what that means is that you take this tablet before you sleep, or these herbs before you sleep. Sometimes they're even tea or so like, but there are medicinal solutions for sleeping well. These are not sleeping tablets. I don't mean that you should get sleeping tablet. I mean you get tablets that are intended for relaxation during sleep. So what these tablets will do is that when you are actually sleeping, it helps you to actually shut down your mind or relax your mind or bring your mind to the level, or your nerves, your brain nerves, to the level that it correlates with the fact that your eyes are shut and you are actually sleeping. Now, you will notice this because the first thing when you wake up in the morning, you will notice that even though you have slept 6 hours or 5.5 hours or 5 hours or 7 hours, you will actually feel like you've really slept and woke up. You will know. It's not that you've slept and you woke up and you're feeling I need 4 more hours, or you're not sure of when you're really going to get up. You will actually be able to get up and get on with the day. You might not feel strong because there's also the psychological effect. If you've been waking up sluggishly for a long time in your life, there's also the psychological effects that your entire system actually become used to that. So you will have to reprogram your mind, but you will know because your eyes were open. Your body vessel, for lack of exercise and stuff like that, may still be tired on the bed. But it will be like when you're really drawing, you feel like sleeping, and it's 7 o'clock, you still feel 8 o'clock, you don't want to wake up. You will wake up. You may be doing other things on the bed, but you wake up and you actually feel grateful. A good sleep is a very good thing. A very good sleep is a very good thing. So you can manage that with that. The next thing I want to talk about is taking a deep breath. Now, understand this, that most people who live do not actually know how to breathe properly. A focus on breathing lies on the core of our various relaxation techniques. Many of us recognize the value of taking a deep breath, but we actually don't know how to take this deep breath. So I'm going to do some exercises right now to help you understand how to breathe correctly. You know, doctors often ask patients to breathe deeply before getting their blood pressure tablet. Sometimes they tell you, cool down, relax, you've just come. Because what you don't know, like I was saying earlier, is that sometimes when you take your blood reading, you might just walk up the stairs, you might have just walked hard, you've just done something, you just argued on the phone, you've been overthinking certain things, and your blood pressure may read. This is why for your blood pressure to actually be properly taken or assessed, if you live in the right countries, like in Europe or America, you realize that at some point your doctor will put you on a 24 hours reading. So what it means by that, they will actually put the reading on your arms, and maybe like 3 or 4 times in an hour, the reading will be taken and there will be a graph. Or if you are admitted into the hospital, they actually plug things into your body and they are monitoring it over, so you see the graph. And at the end of the day, the same person that thought they're hypertensive, after 24 hours, they say, actually your blood pressure is actually normal now. Or someone who had been in the hospital for almost 1 month, they say the blood is still high, because there are fundamental issues. Your blood with your nerves are one of the most delicate part of your body to manage and to handle. So you've got to take it easy and learn to take a deep breath. Now I want to show you a few exercises on breathing. Awesome. So watch this. When you breathe in normally, can you see this? When we say take a deep breath, this is what most people do. We say take a deep breath, most people go out, in. That is not the taking of the deep breath. Now, the way it is that when you take air into your body or into your lungs, you need to know that your diaphragm, your stomach, is like a balloon. Now, imagine if I blow air into a balloon, the balloon gets bigger, not shrink. It is when I release the air. So imagine your stomach. I wish my stomach could be captured more on the camera, or if I move back a little bit. Yeah, let me move back a little bit. So can you see this now? Now watch this. The proper way to breathe is when you breathe, he said, can you give me a command from behind the camera, please?
So breathe.
Breathe.
Out. In. Out. In. Out. Breathe in. Out.
Now, so you want to understand this, that when you breathe properly, there are different postures of this breathing that can help your blood pressure, and you want to do them intentionally. So one of them is the deep breath. The deep breath can be with noise. It's obvious that you're taking the air, or you can be silent. Watch, I do it in a silent way. Now I'm taking the air in and I'm still sustaining it, but through my nose I took the air in, not through my mouth. I'm going to take it through my nose again. Watch. And watch my stomach. Imagine this is how my stomach and the diaphragm is. But when this is the level, when I breathe in, it should pump out. So watch. In.
Out. In. Out.
Now, different ways in which you can use this is that you can set out 20 minutes for this exercise. And in the 20 minutes, there are different techniques that you can use in breathing that can actually consciously affect your blood pressure. When you take the deep breath and you want to spend 20 minutes, watch me. In.
In.
I just stopped. Now, in holding it, I want to hold it for like 10 seconds. So let's see. I'm looking at the seconds on my screen here. I'm still holding it. I'm still holding it. I'm still holding it. I'm still holding it. You can. Now, another technique is you are holding it for that long. This time around, I want to hold it for 15 seconds and I want to release it for 10 seconds, meaning that I will be slower in breathing out. So there is the technique of you breathe it in sharp, out sharp, in, out. But when this time around, I want to take it in slowly for 15 seconds of taking the breath and 10 seconds of getting out. Let's go.
In. Out.
Out now for 10 seconds. You understand that? Now, when you notice something, that when I was breathing in, no matter the techniques you're going with, there are so many other techniques that you can study, like breathing and out intermittently in between, like you're panting. You can pant like a dog. You imagine when the dogs pant with their tongue, and they do it so profusely sometimes. The problem with when you do this is that you also have to back it up with calming down your nerves. This has a powerful way of regulating your blood. Now, watch this. When I breathe properly, my shoulders were not rising up, but majority of the people that you will ever see breathe the wrong way, which is, but I'll do the right way again. In, out. If you notice, no shoulder movement, there's no stress, there is no, a lot of the time, because people breathe wrongly, they actually live wrongly. I'm going to say that again. Because people breathe wrongly, they live wrongly. Don't forget, our life is sustained by breath, by breathing. And we can manage or mismanage our breath. And if we do manage or mismanage our lives, your life is hugely affected by how you manage your breath. I hope this has been helpful for you, and you can take proper measure to control your breath or to control your blood pressure. My name is Abraham Grace, and I'm just helping to connect the dots. For more videos from Abraham Grace, please click on the subscribe button or check me out on abrahamgrace.com. It is working. Thank you.